everybody, and welcome to the Internet Citadel Show. Sorry about our little bit of rocky beginnings here this evening. The wonders of the Internet, right? Well, we're so glad that you've joined us because we're excited about our guests. But first, I want to introduce my friend and my business partner, Brian Kelly. What I want to share and tell you a little bit about Brian is he's been a software engineer for over 23 years. And part of that time, during those 23 years, he also ventured into some multi-level marketing and some internet marketing, affiliate marketing, and he even co-owned a travel-based MLM for about 6.5 years. He is an absolute social media nut. As a matter of fact, he put together, look down below on the tweet performance, if there's anybody out there that needs help in kind of maneuvering some Twitter function, that's an awesome program to take a look at. The other thing is Brian puts together each week everything that we've got going on. Technical difficulty was not his fault. It's just something that happens sometimes. But I just want to tell you that he's an absolute delight to work with. He's knowledgeable. He's great in website and design. He puts all this stuff together. I just love it. But anyway, I just want to tell you, man of integrity and character, I want to introduce my friend, my partner, Brian Kelly. Hi, Brian.
My
Welcome
goodness.
to tonight's show.
Stop it. Thanks so much for that incredible intro. My goodness, you're hard to top. But I'd like to let everybody get to know my wonderful friend, co-host, business partner, co-creator of this show, Kathy Stover. Her experience is very, very wide and diverse, but very deep as well. She's been an operations manager and sales manager for 25 years, over 25 years. All of this with a Fortune 500 company. Very impressive in its own right. She is a social media expert that is currently coaching high-name clients right now as we speak. If you need social media assistance, definitely contact her later after the show or after you've seen it recorded. Phenomenal. She knows how to grow folks' social media connections in not just one avenue, but several social media platforms. So definitely give her a look on that. She's got a bunch of network marketing experience as well. A bunch meaning since the mid-'80s, and that's basically how she and I met, was back during the times when we were both in the same network marketing company. We are no longer with that company. We have ventured on from that whole genre of business, but still highly believe in that whole business model. She's also what I affectionately call the affiliate marketing queen, because she's been doing that since the early 90s, and Kathy can sell nearly anything to anyone on the internet. I'll say nearly. Nobody can sell everything to everyone on the internet, but she is absolutely incredible in that area. Very highly talented individual. Some other great things to note about Kathy is, and these really mean a lot. They carry a lot more weight than a lot of people might imagine. She's a power seller on eBay, which they mailed her a physical certificate to give her that designation, a power seller. That means she has sold a good deal of merchandise over eBay. But the real kicker is she's also been given the top-rated seller designation by eBay. And that, to me, shows a lot of integrity in its own right. She spoke about integrity with me. Right back at you, Kathy. You are a high-integrity individual, and there's no way you can disprove that because those ratings come in from people who don't even know Kathy. So kudos to you on that. She said I'm a social nut. Well, maybe half of that's right. The latter half, I might just be a nut. But anyway, we have fun on this show. What I like to do is let's get this going. We started a little late. Apologies. But Kathy, let's bring on our wonderful guest and our good friend.
You know what? This has just been so exciting when we found out that that he was going to be on the show with us, and I just want to give just a quick background on how we met him. Our good friend Mary Agnes Antonopoulos connected us up with Christine Comifer's seven-figure business summit back in March, and we were two of several coaches there, and we had the honor to meet this incredible individual. So much fun. Vibrant, extremely knowledgeable, and I have got to put my little grandma glasses on so I can read his information. But I just wanted to tell you that it was so cool meeting him and connecting with him, and because of that, we're able to share his topic tonight. So what I want to tell you about, in fact, this is kind of funny. His beginning line was, "Who is this Paul Keach guy? And why should I care?" Well, I just told you why you should care. He's jovial, he's smart, he's an author, a coach, a speaker, a business strategist, he has just authored or co-authored a book that, and I think this is kind of cool because he's actually debuting it, and if I'm wrong, he's going to have to correct me. I'm thinking it's like August 10th, so we have the honor of having him on our show. We have him on our show before anybody else, as far as I know. So, Brian, how cool is that?
That's incredibly cool.
Our friend Paul has been a lifelong entrepreneur, and Paul has a knack for making complex topics easy to understand. And that's for sure, because Brian and I have been in several conversations with him, and he just does, and he gives you an ease and just makes you feel comfortable, and you can just ask him anything. But in his new book, Make My Marketing Work, How to Win Customers and Make More Money, which is our topic line tonight, he reveals this talent for business owners by demystifying the often complex world of marketing and distilling it down into a few essential elements. And we all need that, right? Because sometimes it just seems like it's beyond what we can comprehend and understand. So Paul is really going to help us in this area. He and actually he helps, and these are the keys to marketing success. So he's going to share that with us. He, I find out, also plays squash, and I threw in a little bit of a joke the other day. With, did it have anything to do with zucchini and crooked neck? But anyway, that's another story. But he's an avid outdoor enthusiast. When he's not hiking in the woods or skiing in the mountains, jumping out of planes. I didn't know you jumped out of planes. Oh my gosh, scaling rock walls, chasing, here's my part, squash balls. Okay, so it's not zucchini. Like a golden retriever at the lake when he's not writing, ruminating, or rabble-rousing. I'm going to have to ask him about the rabble-rousing thing. Paul can usually be found working with his clients engrossed in creation, dissemination of powerful marketing campaigns that bring them tangible, real-world business results. And Brian and I actually know a couple of the folks that he's worked with, and I can tell you he is like, and Brian will attest, phenomenal in that area. He's a master marketer with a keen understanding of how to market a message using innovative strategies that harness the power of the internet, and these include pull marketing, viral messaging, marketing math that tracks the effectiveness of each campaign to provide real-world ROI. So above all, what I want to tell you about our special guest tonight is that bottom line is Paul will make your marketing work. Paul, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on here. And yes, it is my debut.
All right, we are the first. Well, you know what? We're just going to put you right on the spot right away, Paul. A lot of people are struggling in business. They're struggling in their marketing. They're struggling in their acquiring client base. What is the magic bullet, and do you have one?
Yes, and it only costs $20,000. Now, in reality, listen, there is no marketing bullet, magic bullet. There is no magic bullet for marketing. There's no magic bullet for weight loss. There's just, we've become so accustomed to this idea that, we can just take a pill and everything will go away, or everything will get better, everything will come to us. It's just simply not true, And my favorite example of this is, I love the law of attraction, but, the last 6 letters in the law of attraction are action. So you've got to actually take some steps. You've got to do some things. And I like to take an ordered approach. You talked about measuring your marketing. That's really what it's all about when it comes down to it. Is what we're doing working or not? And if not, let's fix it, or let's stop doing it and go over here and do what is working. So no, there is no magic bullet. I'm sorry to disappoint.
Well, darn. So many people out there, though, Paul, actually give the impression that if you pay this much money and look at their particular program, that they really have it. So, I think consciously we really know it's not out there, but I know that oftentimes we find ourselves, when we see all of that, we kind of believe that there is. So we just have to think about that and know, like you just said, about the part about action. We have to take action in what we do.
Absolutely. And the reason that we and I don't want to get into a bunch of psychology here, but the reason that we need something to hope for, to hold on to. And if we really believe in our hearts that to get where it is that we want to go is going to take a momentous amount of effort, it's really hard to get started. And so that's one of the reasons that we actually fall for that magic bullet routine time and time again. And I'll be the first to admit I've fallen for it myself. But I'd like to take a different approach when it comes to building business. I don't like get rich quick. I like get rich slow and for the long term. The thing that I've found is that people who get rich quick also get poor pretty quick too.
Wow, how true is that? That is that said a lot. We've actually met people like that. That's very true. Go ahead, Kath.
What I was going to say is, what would you say, Paula, is the first and most important thing, or the most important step in actually winning a customer over?
Well, really, to win a customer, you need to understand them. And to understand them, you need to know what it is that really motivates them. What kind of things keep them up at night? What do they worry about? What do they fret about? We all have our worries in whatever area of life it is. For me, I'll admit, it's my squash game. I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes. I'm like, how am I going to beat that guy who keeps beating me? So, I'm a perfect candidate for that kind of a product because I've reached a plateau and I can't seem to get too far beyond it. The same is true with golf. The same is true of weight loss. The same is true of just about anything. People have these thoughts, this conversation that's going on in this 6 or 8 inches between the two ears, right? And the traditional approach to marketing is to come in and tell somebody what they need. And the approach that I think works better, and certainly feels a lot better, both for me and for my clients anyway, is to join the conversation that's already going on right here, is to just kind of enter into it by using words that they're already using, by acknowledging the fears and frustrations and things that bother them, and understanding and acknowledging the desires that they have, where it is that they'd like to be. I mean, I'd like to be king of the squash court. How do I do that? I mean, you can sell me gear, you can sell me training, you can sell me more court time. I'm a perfect candidate, but not if you don't understand what my desires are. So that's the first real key to winning a customer, is to really be paying attention to what's going on in their head, and not trying to dismantle or break through that, but joining the conversation.
Excellent.
Deliver it out there, and we're going to kind of cross our fingers a little bit and go, okay, I hope it works. And the first time we do that, it's literally on pure marketing faith. I mean, we're going to put faith in our research, etc. If we don't have mechanisms in place to be able to track the response, and frankly, if we're not asking for a response from a marketing effort, whether it's online via a click or in a coupon, is clip this coupon and come in, or call in and ask for Sally for more information about attending this college, which is a tracking mechanism, guys. I guarantee you Sally doesn't work there. Sally is a tracking mechanism for that particular advertisement on that particular radio station or television station or whatever it is. And it's a really cool tactic that even the smallest business can use to track their offline marketing, is to just make up a name and say, call and ask for so-and-so. And, Jane doesn't work here, but Jane is going to be assigned to newspaper XYZ. And Bob is going to be assigned to magazine ABC. So once we have that information, now we put the ad out and we get those results, we can say, well, okay, we spent $1,000 on the ad. I'm going to get a little marketing math on you here, so just bear with me. I'm going to try and use big round numbers.
Okay.
If you spend $1,000 on the ad and you generate $2,000 worth of sales, we just made $2,000, right? Well, maybe, but maybe not, and more likely probably not. So we made the $2,000, but now we've got to take out the $1,000 that we spent on the ad. That leaves $1,000. And if it costs us $1,200, if there's only like $800 worth of margin in that $2,000 sale, we've actually lost $200. Now, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. If you know that over the lifetime value of that customer you're going to get it back, that's okay. But it's a mistake to think you made $2,000 and put that as a big check mark. So now we have a benchmark. We know that we spent $1,000, we got $2,000 in sales, and we had a negative or a marketing expense of $200. now we can try and make a change to that advertisement, that maybe we change the headline, or we change the call to action, or we change some other piece of the copy to see if we can improve that response rate. If we can, the next month we say, oh wow, this month we made $3,000 in sales. We take out the $1,000. We take out all of the other cost of goods sold and the expenses to sell the thing. Oh wow, now this time we made money. That version of the ad worked better. The opposite could also be true, right? We put out the second version of the ad, and we only bring in $1,000 worth of sales. We go, oh, geez, got to go back to square one and put that first ad out next month. You know, we've got to use that now as our control, is kind of the industry term. It's the standard, the benchmark by which we advertise against. So without all that information, absolutely everything you do is a pure guess. And frankly, when I'm spending money, I don't like to be guessing too often.
Good point.
By the way, I kind of like the Sally and the John, I think it was, deal where you put them out there. It's kind of like covert stuff. I'm kind of like
it. Is, yeah. And it's a great PR strategy if you're kind of a one-person business and you're putting out press releases all the time. Just make up a PR rep's name in your office and give your phone number, right? So that the phone rings and you pick up the phone and you say, hi, how can I help you? And the person on the other end says, hi, is Jane or Sally or whatever that PR person's name is. And you say, no, Jane's not available right at the moment, but this is the CEO, Paul Keach. Is there something I can help you with? You know instantly and can prepare yourself mentally that this is a media call. And so you automatically know as soon as they ask for Jane, this is a media opportunity, and so you can respond accordingly. It's great. It's a great strategy.
That is. I mean, there are so many ways to track, say, links on websites and links in emails and everything else, but to track a phone call is a little bit more difficult. And by using that method, it's simple. All you have to do is jot down the name that they were asking for, and you know exactly which campaign brought them to the phone to call you. That's brilliant. I like that.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. And you build that in a campaign in your customer relationship management tool, whether you're using a spreadsheet on your computer or something more sophisticated like Salesforce.com. You create a campaign based on that advertisement, that name, and now you can attribute every lead or every prospect that is generated to that particular campaign. And over time, you get this, you've heard of military intelligence, where you get this marketing intelligence that you can actually use to strategize and apply to making bigger gains, because the more you can make a change and determine whether or not it made an improvement or not, the better off you're going to be in terms of making profitable decisions for your business. And, we're here to serve people, but we're also here to make a profit, right? I am.
Yes.
I hope everyone watching this is in business to make a profit as well.
Yeah, and those that are listening that are a little bit squeamish about that thought, I was actually there at one point myself, but if you are producing something that is truly based on integrity and results, successful results, you are actually doing these individuals a favor by giving them something that will improve their business. So is it okay if you make a profit? Absolutely, because you're helping people. If you weren't making a profit, you couldn't help anyone else. So it's that invest in the, it's like the old investment strategy. If we don't have entrepreneurs in this world, or in America anyway, or Canada, then neither of our countries would survive. By the way, Paul is actually with us from Canada, live from Canada. So I wanted to throw that in there.
Live from Vancouver, BC.
Beautiful.
Home of the 2010 Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a beautiful city, and it's a beautiful day here today.
Oh, and I also wanted to interject. Many of you watching on internetcitadel.com right now, or even via the recorded version afterward, you'll see Paul. He's right up here. He's got a nice big picture. Click right on his nose, and it'll take you to his website. That will give you. Yes,
that way?
It's up to. There you go. It's like the Brady Bunch, looking back and forth. But click on his nose, and it'll take you right to his website that will give you in-depth information not only about him, but what he's about and what he's doing right now. Also, be sure to click on that book beneath. Are you done with the signed copies yet, Paul?
No, Kathy, you had it right. We are launching the public release of the book, and I'm gonna do a little product placement shot here.
Hey, hold that up again.
On August the 10th of 2010. but there are some advanced copies that we've got available. What we've done is Alex, my co-author, and I have actually numbered them and signed them. And so we've got those available. If you're watching this before August 10th, those are currently available, or while supplies last, they are. And then after August 10th, of course, the public release, you'll be able to get them at your favorite bookstore, Amazon, Borders, Barnes & Noble up here in Canada, Chapters Indigo, and some independents will be carrying it as well.
Well, and we have some folks that are saying, can you please hold the book up again?
Sure.
And Mary Agnes is bragging that she got copy number 1.
That's right. Mary Agnes did get the copy number 1.
I haven't talked to her since I found that out, but you know, I'm telling you, I do eBay, so you know, in a couple of years when he becomes like totally over the top, rich and famous, we can auction the book off like they do baseballs, okay?
It'll be a collector's item. She won't want to get rid of it. What are you talking about?
Excellent.
It should be worth millions, my friends, millions.
This is great.
It's definitely worth the $15.95 on the cover, $5 on the cover price, though. That's for sure.
Let me tell you that. Let me just ask you this. So you're talking about it being worth $15.95. It is worth far more than that. Do you have plans in the future to do some kind of coaching? I know you do coaching and you have a program, but something along the lines with that book, Paul, or some type of boot camp or anything? Is that in the works with you?
We are talking about what's going to happen after the book, of course, is publicly released. We're going to listen to our market, and we're going to talk to them and really figure out what it is that they want. One of the things that, and thank you for the unintentional but fantastic segue. First of all, I do want to say that our publisher, Morgan James, fantastic people, are donating portions of every book sold to Habitat for Humanity. But at the same time, we're offering a bonus, and you can't see that. What am I doing? At the back of every book, we're offering the opportunity to have a 30-minute marketing strategy session with us. And during that time, there's no cost and no obligation. We're going to just learn about you. We're going to get your feedback on the book, see if you got stuck anywhere, where we can help you, review your marketing plan with you. And at the time, frankly, we're going to want to talk to you about what it is that you feel you need next in the area of marketing development for your business. If that turns out to be a marketing boot camp, well, we've got one of the most beautiful cities in the world to have it in. We'd love to have people up here. If that turns out that it's a virtual kind of group coaching program, we'll look at that. If it's one-on-one coaching or consulting, well, you can get that from me anyway at my website. Remember, just click on my nose and you'll get more info on that. And certainly we can talk about that, but we are really going to talk to the market en masse and ask that question, you know, what is it that you want? And then we're going to create it and offer it. And, you know, Alex Mondosian is a great guy and somebody that puts that really well. He's like, you know, ask them what they want and then sell it to them. You know, and he calls it the Socratic method because Socrates asked a lot of questions. So, but that's a great way to find out what your market wants and what products you can develop is to ask them. If you have that captured mind share, as my friend Libby Gill calls it, the attention that people are giving you, you can go ahead and ask them what they want, and then go ahead and create and give it to them. Well, sell it to them for a profit.
That turns out to be a huge time saver. So you're not toiling away giving them something that you think they want, but you have found out through market research ahead of time what they do want, and then you can target all of your efforts toward that, and that can save people a lot of time. So that was a hidden big gold nugget right there. I hope people caught on to that.
Yeah.
If you are able to determine what your marketing base...
Right.
Yeah. Now, we've covered quite a few topics. You know, we've talked about mindset. Very, very important, as you accurately stated. Measuring statistics, another very, very important aspect of marketing. But there's also one, I think, that would fit in between those two, mindset being number one. What about the whole topic surrounding branding? We hear about that an awful lot. Where does that fit into your, Paul Keach's, personal list of importance? Where does that fit in your list of importance?
Down under here. I'm going to give you my raw, uncensored answer here. My friend Libby Gill is a brand strategist, and she's actually She actually takes an approach that I agree with and fully support. But generally speaking, if you're talking about branding, or you're talking about branding with a service provider, somebody who wants to help you brand your company, if they are either a graphic designer or an advertising salesperson, you need to turn around and run as fast as you possibly can the opposite direction, because they are out for one thing, and that's your money. That's it. Branding is important, don't get me wrong. You need to have an image that conveys your promise, that conveys who you are and what you stand for. You have to articulate what you do for people in a way that, you know, is meaningful and emotional and beneficial, and that's where somebody like Libby can really help. But if you're talking about a logo, if you're talking about how it looks, all of that stuff, all of the credibility that a logo like the Nike logo, I'm going to rely on my favorite example. All of the reliability and credibility that the Nike logo has, they have it because Nike has consistently delivered the goods to their customers. They provide great material workmanship, the great products. They listen to what people want and they give it to them. The story behind that logo is actually really interesting. Most people, and you can Google this, so don't think I'm making it up, $35 is what they spent on that logo. And I think that was in the 70s. And the reason they picked that logo wasn't because they analyzed it and the swoosh made this great feeling of movement which fit their promise of better athletic performance. They were under deadline, and it was the best option they had, and they needed to make a decision. That's it. The rest is the way they operated their business. And there's lots of, we can debate until the end of this show and the next show. We could run into about 7 shows from now without stopping about whether or not Nike is a good company or a bad company. That's not the point. They have one of the most powerfully recognizable brands in the world.
No doubt.
That's not up for debate. You show that swoosh to anybody in any country, and they know what it means. And so branding, if your only thing is to get that picture out in front of people, you're wasting your time. If you're committed to your business for the long term and you're willing to make a promise to people that you're going to stand behind, then absolutely go through the process of branding your company. But it's so much more than your logo or the colors. Those are part of it, but those really aren't it. It's the promise you make, and really your brand is the reflection of your company in the minds of your customers, or in the public at large, not necessarily even your customers, because people who don't buy Nike products still have an opinion of Nike, as an example. Was that enough of a
No,
rant
you know what,
for you?
that was great, because I think that sometimes we tend to get really wrapped up in, we have to have, it's got to be the perfect logo or the right colors or whatever, and I think that we lose track of what you just so eloquently pointed out, that it's not so much about that, it's about what it is, what service we're providing, how we're connecting with them, and so that's what we should focus on and start with. Not the other stuff, not so much.
So in other words, what you're basically saying is that...
to be honest, if you've got a logo... Oh, sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, what you're basically saying is branding is not something that, it's not just create a logo, slap it up there, and get your face out on the internet and you're done. It couldn't be a long process, a longer process than most people recognize, in that you're building customer base, you're building satisfaction, you're building a testimonial base of real people that are really satisfied in your product, and it doesn't happen overnight. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. In fact, branding is a front-to-back process in business. From the moment you decide to open a business to the moment you eventually close your doors or sell your business to someone else, you are in the process of branding. And people talk about rebranding. What they're really talking about is redesigning their logo. Rebranding, really true rebranding, takes a lot of effort. It's not just slap this new sticker on over top of the old logo and magically we're a great company again. As I said, your brand is really the perception, it's the reflection of your company in the eyes of the public, and that includes your detractors as well as your ambassadors. And so yeah, it's a front to back process that you'll never stop. And with things like the internet now, and I mean, I'm talking to you about my book, but I'm also talking to you about me. And personal branding has now become a kind of a big buzz. And again, it's not, you go to my website and yeah, I just got a new website. I like it. It looks good. But more important than what it looks like is what it says about me, and then in fact what your experience of working with me is like after we've had a chance to talk.
So, in the overall scheme of things, how, I mean, obviously we're talking about winning customers, right, and making money. How is what we're pricing our product or what we're putting together in the mix?
Well, pricing is huge, obviously, and no more so now than ever before. I mean, in the midst of the current kind of economic situation that we have, consumers are very cost conscious. And so we have to remember that that's true, but we also need to remember our own value. So, for example, the information that's in this book took me more than 10 years as a marketing professional and 30 years as a consumer to understand. This is not something that I just read someone else's book and copied it out word for word or even rewrote it in my own words. This took a lot of investment, and there's value in that experience. So we have to remember the value that we bring to the table to our customers, and that's important. Now, when it comes to pricing strategy, though, there's a couple of ways to approach it. I mean, you can do like a price cut strategy to gain market share quickly, so you come in below the average, or you can position yourself as a premium, and you're marketing, of course, to a smaller segment of your target audience, but you're targeting to a group that has more money, that places a level of importance on, say, the finer things in life. They want that VIP treatment, for example. They want the one-on-one coaching versus the group coaching, and so you can still get your value that way, one-on-one. But pricing, you have to remember, pricing is not the only element of an offer. And, one of the strategies for like direct response marketing or direct response selling is to take a product, put it at a specific price, and then add a couple of bonuses on, and then offer it as a kind of a package that you can only get for a certain amount of time, or you only get those bonuses if you order within a certain amount of time. Well, that strategy can actually be used for physical products as well. It doesn't have to be this whole information marketing world that we all kind of know, or at least us who are involved in the online marketing world kind of know, and frankly are getting kind of tired of in the old model of doing it, where it's all hype and push marketing. I like to have a conversation with people and really understand what they want and give them something that's valuable. So it's the way you structure your offer as well. It's the product that you're selling, the bonus items or the free marketing incentives. Just a couple of weeks ago from this live call anyway, or this live recording I did a conversation on my blog about offering a free marketing incentive as a strategy for getting better effectiveness or better results from your marketing. And the example I used is I'm a huge golf fan. I have it on my vision. Well, you can see my vision board here behind me. But to play on the PGA Tour one day, and some people will say that that's crazy. But hey, my mindset says it's possible. So the thing is, I love golfing, and as a golfer, one of the things that I buy over and over and over and over again are golf balls. You know what? Because I'm not playing on the PGA Tour, and I'm usually going through 3 or 4 balls around, right? So I'm needing to get those. I'm needing to buy balls on a regular basis. Well, if somebody were to offer me something, where I could get a package of balls for free, I'm more likely to do that. And one of the examples I use is the driving range where I go to practice. They offer, you can buy a single token for $6, or you can buy a 10-pack card for $5 each, or you can buy like a 50-pack for $4 each. Oh, the cops are coming to get me. They're for $4 each. So you pay less per bucket, but then they throw in 12 free golf balls for committing to that purchase all up front. Well,
okay.
Can you guess what I did? You know, I mean, I'm going there spending the $6. If I can get the things for $4 and get $40 worth of golf balls for nothing, you can bet I'm going to do that over and over and over again. So as long as there's alignment from the offer to what people want and that free incentive, I mean, you're golden. So it's more than just pricing. It's everything else that you do, including also your guarantee or that risk reversal that you offer to people.
Excellent.
That's awesome. You know, the other question that I wanted to ask that I'm thinking that maybe some of our viewers might be thinking about as well, what would be the best tip that you could share on how to identify your target market?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. How to identify them? Well, it really depends on if you have a product already, a business operating. First of all, I hope that you have at least an idea of who your target market is. Otherwise, you're probably now out of business. But one of the best ways to do it is to look at the customers that you've already got and start to kind of profile them and put them in little boxes. And you guys have heard of Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule?
Yes.
Well, this is a great place to apply it, because if you've got 100 customers kind of who've done business with you, I'm willing to bet that 20% or 20 of those customers are responsible for 80% of the revenues you've generated. And so you want to look at what makes those people, the people who've spent the most amount of money with you, who are the most pleasant to deal with, who make operating your business fun and enjoyable. Because guys, this is our career, this is our life. I don't know about you, but I spend anywhere from 8 to 10 or 12 or sometimes even 16 hours a day working, so that I can take certain days off and go spend them on the golf course. But I work hard. When I work hard, and I want the people that I'm working with to make that experience enjoyable, not painful. And raise your hand if you've had a painful customer who you just wish you could fire. And I say, fire them. Take those 20% and start to figure out what is similar between them. What makes them the 20%? What makes them the most valuable kinds of customers for your specific business? And paint a picture of them. Literally take a sheet of paper and write a name down. Use one of their names if you want. This is a private document, not a public document. So literally take one of your customers' names and write that name down on the top of the sheet of paper. If you know the person or can take their picture and put that picture on a sheet of paper with it. If you can't, just go on Google Images and find somebody who visually represents them. If it's a man between the ages of 45 and 60, go find a picture of a man between 45 and 60 and put that picture on your profile. And then literally write everything down. Age, 45 to 60. I actually suggest that when you make this profile, you pick an age. 53. Name, location, where do they live? What is their income? What is their marital status? What is their, are they a homeowner or not? Do they have kids? Are they retired? Are the kids out of the house? Get as much information as you can about them. And frankly, there's this, we're using a really new and very cool technology, and let me just say thank you for organizing this, because I would be completely lost if I were trying to do this myself. But there is, I'm going to use a new version of an old technology for this example, but there's this thing that they call a telephone, and I strongly recommend that people in business use this. And once you've identified those 20%, they have these things, they're called telephone numbers, and you just punch them in, and you can talk to people. You can ask them questions, and if you're nice, they'll probably answer. I found, well, I'll use myself as an example, because I'm having a whole bunch of fun right now talking about me and what I do and my book and all that stuff. people love to talk about themselves. I almost said to themselves, but that's just me. People like to talk about themselves. And, you know, if you ask them questions, if you're genuine and you're coming at it from a place of service, chances are they're going to answer those questions. You're going to take a lot of notes. And, hey, maybe you give them a discount. Maybe you give them a coupon. Maybe you give them some kind of incentive to spend 10 or 15 or 20 minutes with you on the phone. But that's the best way that I know how to really learn about who your market is. There's a lot of really cool stuff online that you can do. Google has a keyword tool so that can tell you what these people are asking for, you know, what they're searching for. If you get into Facebook advertising, you know, Facebook has this really comprehensive list of key phrases that they've identified that you can advertise on. There's a really great website that kind of visually gives it to you. I think it's called kwmap.net. I think that's right. It used to be KW Browse. I think it's now kwmap.net. And it's really cool. You punch in your keyword, and it'll kind of give you this, almost like this DNA helix of different iterations of what their interpretation of what that word could mean, and some suggestions along that path. It's kind of really cool. So, you know, there's tons of tools that you can use to get keyword online market data research, and Google groups and Facebook groups, and those places are an awesome place to go in. Once you've figured out, okay, it's a man in his, you know, 45 to 60, and he's thinking about these things, and these are the problems that he has, go find the groups online where those people are congregating to talk about that specific problem and possible answers. And man, it's an absolute goldmine of marketing information, market data, market research. It's absolutely fantastic.
Well, you know, I want to just interject this because it just perked my ears up. One thing that you had mentioned is how the marketing used to be slamming it out there and just, you know, constant barrage and emails and all these crazy marketing letters and all of that stuff. But something that resonated with me, and I know it will with Brian as well, and you said coming from a place of service. And I have to tell you that Brian and I have continually, Paul, along the way over the last several months at least, have met marketers and have connected with new people, and that seems to be the consensus. And the really cool thing about that is all of the people that we have met, it's coming from their heart, so it isn't like it's all of a sudden, let's do this new kind of marketing thing and come from a place of service, but it's really coming from people's heart and a place where they want to share with other people. So, yes, we're out here and we're doing what we're doing because we're making a living, and we're entrepreneurial and creative, and we want to work at home. And you're right about the 16 hours. I love that because so many marketers out there will say you can make $20,000 a month and work 2 hours a day. So yes, there is some hard work involved in it, but the bottom line is just sharing that, and I really appreciate you doing that, sharing that it is coming from a place of service. Yes, we want to make money, but there is character and integrity behind that, and we do want to help the people that we're coming into contact with. And it's kind of a beautiful thing, if you will, because we're all sharing in that as well. So, you know, we're coming from a place of service, but we are also gaining from them in other ways too.
Absolutely.
So,
and you know, that's why we got along, the three of us, when we met in San Francisco, because we're all coming from that same place. Now is the best time in the world to be, in the history of the world, to be a service-based entrepreneur. And I don't mean you have to be offering service. You can be offering products that are of value, that are just, but you're coming from a place of service, of genuinely wanting to help people.
Right.
Because with the way the internet works, I mean, once it's out there forever. All right, if you've ever gone to the Internet Archive, you can see versions of my website that are frankly, you know, not very appealing to the eye. But the reality is that everything that gets put out there is digitally archived. And it's very hard to escape, which is awesome for people like us and everybody like us who is really intent on being transparent and genuine and honest in their dealings with their customers. You know, it's really a great time for that. Social media requires that you be transparent and honest, because if you don't, people can pick up your name and slam you so fast that you could be out of business before you even realized you were in business.
Exactly. It's actually given us a great source of accountability, if you will. And I say great source because what you just said, you can't, all these people that are out there for get-rich-quick schemes, will, their names will basically be dragged through the mud if they try any underhanded attempts while on the social media scene, because their word will spread like wildfire. So it's a great equalizer, so to speak, to bring the integrity level up of businesses, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, in no particular order. Those are great ways to even the playing field and inject some accountability without any additional, effort on any one of our parts, because you'll find out very quickly through minimal searching on Google and in the social media avenues whether or not this is someone you want to do business with. It's very easy to do these days, and that's a good service for all of us.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And it's come to the point now where it's probably higher than this. I read this statistic about 8 months ago. It was in the late part of 2009 that at least 80% of North Americans now research a purchase online, mostly either before or after making that purchase. And you can go at home and research it after you purchase it, and then take it back because you found out that it's not, you don't want it because of whatever you read online. It's so easy to find that stuff now, and now that's not to say also, it's worth touching on that you're not going to have your detractors online. Sure. Everybody has detractors. Nobody is perfect, and not everybody. We're not here to sell, as you said, Brian, at the top, everything to everybody. Some people are going to, just through sheer unfortunate situations, people are going to have a bad experience every now and again. People are going to take offense. People are going to who are just diametrically opposed to me are going to say, no, I disagree with everything you say, and they're going to be very vocal about it online. Yeah. That's okay. I'm okay with that because I actually know that my supporters will come to my defense. I don't even need to defend myself. My supporters will come to my defense. If anybody were to egregiously attack me in an unfair way, my supporters would come to my defense, and that upswell of support would actually be more marketing value for me than I could ever hope to create on my own. It's such a powerful thing. So if you take that approach of being transparent and honest and accountable to your customers, you'll develop this tribe. And Gary Vaynerchuk talked a lot about it in his book, Crush It, which is just a fantastic read. But really just go and deliver in your DNA. Be honest, be truthful, and just let it happen, man, and let it rock. You can tell the subject really just bores me, right?
Well,
Can you just calm down a little bit?
But it's interesting. I've actually seen a phenomenon. Go ahead, Kathy. Ladies first. Ladies first.
No, go, please. Go
I was just thinking what you were saying, Paul, about people that are detractors, because let's use Facebook as a great example. I see folks that I follow and I think have integrity on Facebook. If they post something on Facebook, I see exactly the opposite happen, where people are actually coming in and giving positive feedback after positive feedback, those comments in Facebook, to the point where they would starve out anyone who might be a detractor. Before they would even have a chance to say something negative, there are 20 or 30 positive comments. Who's going to go in and detract from that? And if they do, it's going to be too late by the time they get there. So what you're saying is hitting the nail on the head. It's
absolutely.
The integrity is utmost importance, and social media is a great way to ensure that occurs. Okay, Kathy.
Well, what I was going to say, no, that's okay. It's exciting when we have somebody as compelling as Paul on the shows. So, I know I can see both of our minds are just reeling. But with that being said, Paul, if you can believe this, our hour has already dissipated. It just comes around too quick. But what I wanted to interject is this. Our topic tonight was how to win customers and make money. The really cool thing is, or not so cool, I'm not so sure. But anyway, the last question was going to be how to make money. So how do you make money? But we've come to our hour. So guess what? Everybody is going to have to tune in and look at that book that you've got, or go to your website, because I know Brian and I have both been in there. For free, you offer some phenomenal information to some questions that I know some of the people watching might have for you. But with that being said, we also have the book, and it is absolutely a must-read, number one. And number two, $15.99, just, I mean, that blows my mind, because the book in itself, like you talk about how many years that you put into that, your experiences, and Brian, I'm sure will attest, it is just, it's a must-have. If you're an internet entrepreneur, if you are marketing, if you're doing anything out there on the internet, you have to have this book. And the cool thing is, you can go in right now and pre-order it. So with that, I'm gonna bow out so I don't take any more time. Brian, thank you so much, as always, for co-hosting with me together, how we do this every week. I just love this time spent. Paul, just an absolute delight. Love the information, and I just know that our viewers have enjoyed what you've shared with us as well. I am so excited that we had a book. It's not number one like Mary Agnes got, but you know what? We've got the book, and it's awesome. Thank you again for spending your time with us tonight. I'm bowing out, guys.
Well, we may not have.
Well, listen, thank you. It was my pleasure to be here. I'm so glad that that we all met and that you invited me to be here. I invite anybody who's interested to check out the book, just click on my nose, learn more about me, but thank you guys so much for doing this and for making this platform available. I don't know anywhere else on the internet that I can do something like this and have this simultaneous broadcast. So I think this is such a cool thing that you guys are doing, and you're giving me obviously a platform you're sharing your platform with me to get the book out there and to get who I am out there, and I just hope that you get some good feedback on our time together, and just again, thank you so much for having me, for inviting me, and for being patient with some of my technical camera issues here. Although I do hope maybe we can take a poll after the fact. Is the face made for radio or what? You know?
Well, hey, I got to tell you, I got to interject this real quick. Somebody with the screen name Playful Genius is saying Paul is gorgeous. So there you go.
There you go.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin. I know exactly who that is. So I appreciate the positive feedback, Justin. I owe you big time, my friend.
Now, we may not have gotten the absolute very first signed book, the number one signature on the book, but we have the book that is going to be number one on the number one bestseller because of the circle of folks, not only that Paul has put himself into, but because the quality of the contents of that book. It's a must-read. For a few high-end cups of coffee, you can have this book in your hands and be divulging into this incredible content. So be sure to pick up a copy of that. And as Kathy said, we are pretty much up to our hour. We started 6 minutes late, and we are 6 minutes after the hour. So in an effort to be polite to everyone in their time, we would like to end this show tonight. Thank you once again, Paul. Kathy, can't say enough about you. You are the glue that keeps this thing together. Without you, this show would not go. Same with guests like Paul. Paul, phenomenal information. Thank you so much for being so giving of not just your time, but your very valuable information. We appreciate it very much. For everyone watching live and now recorded, we want to thank you as well for spending the evening with us, taking your valuable time out. But I got to say, if it were me sitting on the other end, I would say it was time well spent. With that, I'm going to say goodnight to everyone, and we will see you once again next week with another fantastic guest that actually Paul knows as well. But we will leave that to another day. So we'd like to see you all again next week. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.